this is gold, as you say.
It just, I have to listen. You know, I know what one of the segments is going to be called. Jimmy Bedford, How to Read a Room.
Oh, totally. Oh, I was thinking that hours ago,
Hold
dude.
on.
Reading the room.
Yeah. No, you know what your audience is. You know what. Remember, you said you got your wrist slapped a few times. There's some themes that pervade some of these things.
See, so like what you're talking about now is what I use in the DJ part of my career now. I'm getting ready to do a 4th of July block party in Sacramento. You know, an old friend, you know, and he goes, hey, play whatever. He didn't say play whatever you like. He said play whatever you want, because he knows that I am going to get people on the floor, on the street, whatever, going through my collection, you know, and like you say, reading the room. I know what that audience range is going to be, and I will play to that range and know how to mix in and out. And
that's a skill, man.
It really is, and I've learned how to hone that over the years. You know, like you said, from doing weddings and doing parties and doing, you know.
All right.
Where was I going a minute ago?
The club in Hayward. Hear me now?
Here's how.
Here's how. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Yeah, let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, digging it.
So I'm looking for a place to go after
Hold on,
hours.
I didn't get it. Go ahead, start it over.
What are you new?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm looking for a place to go after hours, and I went into Hayward on Tennyson Road. They got Soul City, and a great band in there called the Spiders were playing. But after that, there was this little club next door called the Here's How, and Rick Stevens, who became the lead singer in Tower Power, he had a group called the Rick Stevens 4. He had that gig. But I couldn't figure it out. There was more people at the Here's How, you know, and it was only a 4-piece band. Not that the Spiders weren't great, because they absolutely were one of the greatest bands. But it seemed like the size of the room, maybe, I don't know. But the Spiders were just knocking it out. They even opened for the Temptations. And their bass player, Larry Camera, married my cousin Janice, a great bass player, like Duck Dunn. Anyway, I'm in there, and this one particular morning, there's this guitar player up there that had been in a band called The Unknowns. His name was Barry. I can't remember his last name. But I'm in there, and I'm listening to Barry play, and this is the Clapton thing that was starting to happen. And Barry was getting this like real nice tone, and every note that Barry played was just like ringing like a bell, man. And here's a guy that like really looked up to me, you know. He came over and sat down on his break. He said, "Jim, you actually here watching me play? Oh my God, man." I said, "No, man." I said, "I'm really enjoying it." And he said, "Oh, Jim, man, you know," because I was always the show guy, right? I said, "I got to tell you something, man. Sitting here listening to you, you really taught me something, man. Because when you play, I want to hear like every note. They're not going over my head. And so you got a great sound out here, man. It's really, really, really good." And I said, "Gee, thank you, man." He just didn't know what to say, because he knew that I had all these other technical abilities that were way over his head. I said, in my mind, I said, "How much does that count, man?" You know what counts? Heart. And man, you made me feel it, man. You know, just like B.B. King or somebody, you know, he just had that right tone, because he wasn't, see, when people like the shred and they like the fast, but they don't really hear it, they sense it, because it's going too quick. So when you slow it down, right, and people can follow what you're doing, they see where you take that breath and you come back in, they can understand what you're doing and appreciate it. Why do you think Carlos Santana is still popular? They can't even book a gig for him that they can get all the people in that want to see him. 3 notes out of his guitar. So I started adopting things through the year. When Clapton came out, I went, yeah, I'm gonna change my playing here. looking around, things to do. Oh, I'm going to change my playing here. Years later, I started studying some of the country guitar players that were into the modern country kind of sound that's kind of jammy, like Brad Paisley and stuff like that. Studying jazz with Warren, I'm always learning. I'm a student first and a teacher second. That's the way I've always been.
Excellent. That's a nice place to stop.
Yeah, I like that. Well, and that's why, to me, today, Neil Schon is still